What's going on, guys? Welcome back to DBO. On today's video, I do Suburban things. We just got this on the lift. I literally haven't even looked at it, so we're about to find, you're gonna see me find all the problems with this vehicle. I'm sure it has plenty. It's 180,000 mile Suburban, about 1,500 bucks. So let's do a little cursory overview here, and then I'll tell you what I'm gonna do to it and why it's on the lift. So let's begin. First and foremost, blatantly obvious, this thing is absolutely puking oil from about every orifice that it could possibly puke oil from. This oil in particular seems to be coming all the way from the valve cover gasket at the top, and as you can see, it is coating pretty much the entire passenger side of the motor. Check. Awesome. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Okay, front main seal leaking like a sieve. Excellent, excellent. That's exciting. It's got a new belt though, so I got that going for me. Let's see here. Differential, definitely puking. I'm pretty sure. Yep, seems to be puking. Probably gonna want to check the level on that. Let's see what else we got. Somebody cut this pipe in half and welded it back together with a booger for some reason. Is it missing a cat? Is that what happened? Somebody delete the cats? No, there's a cat. Wait, but that pipe doesn't have.
No, there it is.
There's another one. All right, we got two cats. We have all the cats. It's exciting. However, oh no, I bet I know exactly why they did that. This transmission was just rebuilt and replaced or whatever. I bet they didn't want to take the exhaust off, so they cut it right here and right there so they could drop the trans down. I can almost guarantee you that's what they did.
Makes sense.
And I bet we just found my exhaust leak.
Yeah.
So, wow, making a quite the parts list so far. All right, let's work our way back a little bit. Transfer case, puking from the actuator motor and the seal at the transmission. Exciting news. Good stuff. Let's see. A little bit of slack in the transfer case, but the U-joints seem pretty solid. Not excessive play. What else we got? Rust. Rust is there. It's present. It's not terrible. It's not an East Coast car, but I'm also not going to give it a rust-free 10 out of 10 rating. That's for damn sure. And actually, I think that's about it. It's just mainly leaks, which is exciting. It does also pop from the front end. I'm assuming ball joints, so that's going to be a thing probably. But now I get to talk about the fun part. So, for those of you who are very highly observational, you may have seen some tires laying on the ground behind me. Right there, tires. Observe tires. Tires are good. I also have Schwing Pro Comp lift kit / leveling kit, whatever you want to call it. Very simple and very overpriced. Here's the lift kit. That's about what you get. It also comes with shock extenders, so I don't totally bottom out the shocks and limit the travel. But this should be like a $50 kit, and I paid $190 for it or something at 4-Wheel Parts because it was local and I'm impatient. But basically, I'll show you how this works. If you guys aren't familiar with torsion bars, they're pretty cool. It's very easy to lift a vehicle with, so check this out. All I gotta do is come over here. This here's your torsion bar, right here, right? So basically what this does is this is like spring steel in a long bar, and it uses the twist, the torsional forces, that's why they call it a torsion bar, to act as a spring essentially. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out this stock torsion key and we are going to install this one. So it's going to force this wheel to actually rotate down more. It's going to have more spring force. So as it's sitting, the car will actually ride higher. And this kit is designed for 1 to 3 inches depending on how you adjust it, which, if I'm correct, is this bolt right here. So I could also just crank this sucker all the way up, and that would be like maximum liftiness on a stock truck, which you totally can do. But since I have these, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to install them and put 33s on it, and I'm excited about it. This is like stage 0.5 of this build, and this is my summer truck. If you guys haven't seen the previous video, please click the link right here. Check that out. Also remember to subscribe so we can figure out how much it raises. All right, we've got about 34 3/4 inches from the center line of the wheel to the top of the wheel well fender flare thingy. 34 3/4, that's what I'm gonna call it. So that's front. Oh, you know what? For funsies, why don't we see how long this is? It's a big bitch.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Here,
gonna
grab this.
I'm gonna hold this really poorly, but
I'm gonna just go to the furthest forward point.
yeah, I feel like I got it.
So if I don't go to the trailer hitch, the sucker is 18 feet 2 inches long.
It's a boat.
That is a boat. That is
It's a boat.
Fucking boat.
It's a fortress.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the back.
All right.
See what we got. All right, in the back, which theoretically shouldn't really change. It may even go down because we're going to be transferring more weight back here. We got about 36 and a half, a little bit over that. First, I'm going to go over how I think we're going to do this. Then, when this video comes out, I'm going to read all the comments where you guys can feel free to completely annihilate my technique here, which is fine. I've never done a torsion bar suspension lift before. As you know, we got to switch these keys, right? So this torsion bar runs from here up to the front. So what I've done is I've laced them with PB Blaster, an ample amount, so I think. So I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take this puller and I will just go ahead and also disclaim that I have watched one 20-minute YouTube video and I think I get the gist of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this puller, I'm gonna put it right here to get the weight of the vehicle or the torsion forces off of this key and bolt. I'm gonna back this bolt all the way out, let the key release, at which point in time I think I'm gonna hammer this torsion bar further forward so I can slip the key out. Once I get the new key on, I'm gonna hammer the torsion bar back into spot, recompress it, put the bolt back in it, and then this is gonna be my adjustment for the torsion bar, I think. So if I'm wrong about that, please feel free to annihilate me in the comments. It is welcome. I'm going to be in this lift kit with 33s a grand total of $300, which is sick. I paid $100 for my wheels, or sorry, $100 for the tires, reusing the stock wheels. It's gonna look goofy because they're very narrow. And I paid like 190 bucks for the lift kit. So super cheap, super easy. We're gonna be in this thing real dirty cheap. Also, what I didn't mention is the whole reason I'm doing all of this right frickin' now is because we have a gambler event coming up on the 4th. And what we're gonna do is drive from St. George, Utah all the way to Vegas completely off-road. And we're probably only gonna take 2 vehicles, this being one of them since it is absolutely a behemoth. So yeah, look forward to that here real soon. As you saw, lots of beating, but it came off. I'm a master beater offer. Anyway, yeah, so we got one side off.
That's nothing. That's within the screw. You could have adjusted that.
Well, I think the angle on these might be different, but I'm not seeing an angle difference.
I don't see an angle difference.
I mean,
what if it already had a lift?
I don't know. It looks very stock. I'm gonna say that it's stock. If this doesn't lift it, I'm gonna be a sad puppy, but we're gonna try that. Found you. You come All right, so the lift is completely on. I was a little intimidated at first by getting those keys out, but once you kind of figure out a system, Joel and I banged it out. No big deal. We got the other one in 13 minutes, like literally out to in, no big deal. Both front strut extensions are on, so I didn't show this on camera. Didn't think you guys really cared. I don't think you need to know how to install 3 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, done. So basically that just keeps the strut from bottoming out and limiting your travel. Now we get to do the fun part, which is put it on the ground and see how much lift this thing actually got, because we measured it beforehand. So let's pull up those measurements and see how they compare. All right, what were we at last time?
35-ish.
So we got an inch out of that. All right, so we went from 34 3/4, I think it was, up to about 36 1/2. So yeah, I mean about 1.5 inches, something like that. And it hopefully, once we drive it and let it do its thing, it'll settle a little bit and kind of lift up. But I would say it's a pretty safe thing to say there's plenty of room for 33-inch tires here. All right, and as you can tell, the rear, as expected, went down just a skosh. I also measured the other corner. The front is perfectly level right now, which is cool. So we'll see what happens after I drive it for a night. But now we're gonna put some tires on this thing. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the next day. Obviously, it's light outside and I'm wearing different clothes. But as you may or may not have noticed already, with your keen eyes and your attention to detail, this truck is, I don't want to say done because it's nowhere near done, but stage 1 is complete. So I stayed late last night, got the 33s mounted. They are not balanced. The lift is done. It seems to be riding great. I've taken it on the highway. I've driven it around a decent amount. And I wanted to measure it, see how much ground clearance we actually gained even with the tires. So let's see what we got. What did we start this as? Do you remember? Oh, we're at like 37 1/4 now. I think we started at like 35 or 34 something, didn't we?
Around there, I think 35-ish.
Okay, so we gained a decent amount in the front. And in the back, we're at 38 1/4 pretty much.
So about 1 inch in the back too.
Yeah, so we gained quite a bit of ground clearance with this, which is the goal. However though, I'm very glad that I did not buy brand new 33s. I almost bought a set from Michael, like just on a whim. He's our buddy who works over at Elite Rim and Tire. I need to go to 35s. I might even need to do 37s. 37s are definitely overkill for the amount of lift that's on here right now, but 35s are definitely a thing and it definitely needs to happen. As you can tell, these just look more or less stock. I mean, the rims are super narrow, so the tires look like pregnant donuts, but it works great. It doesn't rub at all. I mean, it literally drives down the highway. This is the only lift I have ever done, and we're gonna call it a lift, even though it's not really, but this is the only time I have ever raised a vehicle and it has ridden better than before I raised it. And also right now, just as a note, I have the torsion bars on the all the way crank setting, which I was recommended not to do and ignored that and did it anyway. Go figure, it rides great. So I don't know why they told me not to do that, but that's what I did. Running boards are gonna be coming off, bigger tires, different wheels. I'm gonna put some H2 wheels on there. The 8-lug jammers that are 7.5 inches wide instead of 6.5, because these are junk. We're gonna build out the back, needs a CB radio. There's still a lot of stuff we gotta do, but as of right now, I got my daily driver back and it looks meatier, and that's excellent. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10, let's do it. Ready for the gambler, ready to rock. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, tell your friends about us. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, have a good one.